Sensei, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. ارتاح Sensei.
Us.
Today we are joined by the founder of karate in Oman, Sensei Farid Al Shuhaibi. I'm very honored myself to have Sensei here in my dojo. I wouldn't say I even train under Sensei. I train under some of Sensei's students, like Sensei Ahmed Zakwani. I hope he's doing well. He can hear us here. Sensei Farid, how are you doing these days?
I'm doing good. I'd like to thank you very much for the invitation, and I look forward to gain a lot from you.
No, Sensei, inshallah, everybody I think is excited to actually hear from you and all the stories. Even before we started the podcast, we were starting to talk, and I think more than half an hour passed just me listening to your stories, training with a great karate legend. So I'm looking forward to this, inshallah, Sensei.
Inshallah.
Sensei, لو سمحت بس, please, Sensei, if you can introduce yourself, your name. You don't need to say your age. I think you're a few years older than me, and you can tell us a little bit about how you started karate, a little bit a summary of your karate journey. So go ahead, please, Sensei.
Yes. My name is Farid Muhammad Al Shuhaibi from Sultanate of Oman. I started karate, I was about age 14, and those days there was no karate in the place that I was, so we used to practice by reading the book of Shigeru Egami of Shotokai. We were very fascinated about the Egami sensei, and we used to practice by one of the lake Tanganyika.
Okay.
In Central Africa. Yeah, particularly in Burundi. I had friends, and we used to train by the lake. We used to follow the techniques from the book, and that was not for a long time, till I started to join a proper club in Kuwait in 1975. And my first teacher was from Africa, from Cameroon. And his name was Sensei Agustin Chancho. He really pushed me to learn karate. He also shaped my future in karate. So he made me like it. He made me focus. He made me actually enjoy what I was doing. And then I learned from him the challenges of karate, the physical and mental challenges, the pressure. He was my sensei, and he will remain my sensei forever.
Sensei, if you don't mind, me, subhanallah, especially in Ramadan, I think I always call Sensei Farid because he knows so many things about karate. Really, I find most people don't know. So we have always, I think every Ramadan we have this conversation. So Sensei, you mentioned the name Sensei Igami. I think Sensei Funakoshi had two lines, the Shotokan and the Shotokai line, right?
Yes.
And Sensei Igami, I think he was the head in the Shotokai. It's almost like Shotokan, but a little bit longer. They're still practicing this, I think, style.
Yes.
In America, still some schools are there that have encountered. Can you tell us a little bit more, Sensei, about Sensei Funakoshi, the lines, and Shotokan and Shotokai?
Well, from our Supreme Master, Sensei Funakoshi, he had many students. When the students, they grow up, they form their own federations. So there were two federations, basically, like the Shotokan, which was mainly connected to Funakoshi himself. Plus also the Shotokai. The Shotokai, they were with the Sensei Funakoshi, to my understanding, but they were not in good term with Shotokan, which slowly became JK.
I see.
But I recall that the original style of Shotokan used to be also very deep.
Yes.
Very deep. Also, the body flexibility, the body power, strength was the philosophy, not only for Master Gichin Funakoshi, but also for the masters of Gishin Funakoshi. And what Master Gishin Funakoshi did, he combined those two schools together. The first school was to say that the body should absorb any strike that is coming to the body. And the other one was focused on finishing the combat within one technique. So
essentially one is receiving and one is emitting.
Yeah, because he had a two-man coach from Itotsu and from Azato. And they were both students of Matsumura.
Yes.
Yeah. So then when he introduced karate to Japan from Okinawa, he combined those two, and he put also the element of spirit, because that's very important.
Yes.
He was a scholar,
yes.
So he removed the element of combat and weapons.
Yes, yes.
And he introduced the element of spirit and morale.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that's how the Dojo-kun came also.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that's how the 20 precepts of
karate that he wrote, I think,
yes,
right?
Yes.
That's right.
So all these were introduced by the Supreme Master Gishin Funakoshi when he introduced karate to Japan. And the other thing also, which is very important, he was not in favor of competitions.
Yes, that's true.
He used to say that the competition is a small piece of cake in the whole cake, from the whole cake.
Correct.
You know, and he wanted the Japanese actually to learn the spirit of karate, the Budo, and that's how karate was adopted in Japan. But with time, of course, it evolved and reached to the universities and to the clubs everywhere. And then there was a little bit of shift, like from from
the spiritual side to the sports side.
Yeah.
Yes.
But mainly for students, they need both, or for instructors, they need both. Technique is technique, but technique without spirit is lost. Yeah.
Is lost, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think this differentiates karate from maybe, if you say boxing, let's say, we have a great emphasis on the morality, on the principles, on the behavior.
Yes, very much. And that should stay, because karate is lethal.
Absolutely.
You cannot imagine, when you clench your fist strongly and hit someone, you could make a lot of damage.
Absolutely.
But the students are taught to stop the punch just a few millimeters before the target.
Yes.
So they learn self-control.
Absolutely.
And self-control is one of the foundation for someone to grow. You cannot grow without...
As a human being, without self-control. You become just like an animal, right?
Yes.
Out of control.
Yes. And self-control is connected to discipline. So without discipline, there is no self-control.
So I like it. You're linking the control of the technique with the self-control of your spirit as a human.
Yes, very much. Yeah.
Sensei, I read somewhere once that karate is the only combative sport that if you knock your opponent out, you lose. In boxing, if you do it, you win. In taekwondo and judo, if you drop him on his back, which symbolizes the death of the samurai. But karate is actually, if you knock him out, you lose, which is interesting for people who don't understand sport. But this is, I think, coming back to what you're saying. You have to be in the position where you can do it, but you don't do it.
You don't do it. You can do it for self-defense.
Yes.
For self-defense. If you have no other means, you can do it. But now the training has changed. And plus also since karate joined the Olympics, more into sports and point system
it's changed.
It's changed.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sensei, actually, it's very interesting the point you mentioned about Sensei Funakoshi and competitions, because I think the JKA held the first competition the same year after his death. And I read somewhere, I'm not sure if this is true, that he was really against competition, and actually he was closer to the Shotokai group because the Shotokai really has a lot of emphasis on the morality.
Yes,
And
yeah.
the JKA really emphasized on these very powerful
Yeah.
techniques with Sensei Nakayama, I think it was.
Yes,
And
yes,
they
very much.
They emphasize more on the physical part of it. I mean, Sensei, I think my line of JKS and your line of the ISKF are both an offshoot from the Shotokan line. But I believe that there's more into the morality and stuff that, you know, these lines were fighting each other, Shotokan and the Shotokai, but I believe what you're saying is true because there was no the first All Japan Open was held after Sensei Funakushi's death, I think, because he was against this,
Probably
right?
1958, because he died in 1957.
Yeah, so something like the same year or the year following after his death, they held the first competition. I think since he was afraid to see where karate will be now, maybe, you know, it's going too much into the points and it's losing the spirit a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's evolution.
Evolution, correct.
Because
correct.
you have like when you look at the other sports, like for example kendo.
Yes,
And kendo was art of war.
yes,
Samurai.
Yes, kenjutsu, yes.
You know,
yes.
but now kendo has competitions.
Competition, yes, 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 yes.
You know, so but kendo has maintained
Yes, yes.
the spirit, you know, the Buddha spirit. They have maintained the respect,
yes.
all the moral that goes with it. But when you see the modern karate, especially with the Olympics, have moved away from it.
Yes,
And
yes,
and
yes.
this is very, you know, it's with time, it could create or kids will
Yes,
not
yes.
have chance to really learn the philosophy
behind it, right,
yes,
right,
yes.
right. Which is actually,
Yeah.
Sensei, I think the purpose of anything you do in life should make you a better person, per se, right? And
That
then
is
if
the
that is
ultimate.
lost, of
That is the
anything,
ultimate.
whether it's
Yeah.
karate, music,
Yes.
art, anything,
That is the
right?
ultimate.
Sensei.
Is to be a good person.
Better. It should
To
better
be,
you as a
uh,
human being,
To
absolutely.
respect others and to respect oneself and to be a good citizen and to be part of the society.
Yes.
So what we do is technique,
Yes.
but behind that, moral is very important with it,
Yes.
and that's why we try to in our dojo to repeat the dojo kun.
Yes, yes.
And also recently we've added one more.
Okay, okay.
And I had a conversation with Shihan Okazaki.
Okazaki, okay. This is for who doesn't know, this is
Yeah.
Shihan Okazaki, the head of ISKF, correct?
ISKF,
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
I was actually with JKA for more than 25 years
Oh, Sensei.
in Oman.
Yes.
We add the six in the dojo kun is to preserve our beautiful land.
Oh.
So this
Sensei, this is an ISKF thing, or you added it?
no, I added.
Yes. So Sensei,
Yeah.
the five is seek perfection of character,
Yeah.
be faithful, endeavor, respect others, and refrain from violent behavior.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Then the sixth one is preserve our beautiful land.
Preserve our
Yeah,
beautiful land. I
we
love it.
add that. I did add that, and I was really very happy to do that. And I got a second opinion from Shihan Okazaki that he was pleased also to hear this, because we want to teach our young generation how to maintain clean, you know,
Yes, yes,
to
yes.
keep our
Yes, yes, yes.
places clean.
Since you're not only yourself and the people you interact with, but
Yes.
everybody around you, and yes, your whole nation.
Yeah. So that when they go somewhere, they see trash,
Yes,
they can
yes,
pick it
yes,
up
yes.
and then put in the dustbin. So when they come to a dojo, they keep their shoes together.
Oh,
so this all goes
yes,
together.
yes,
It's deeper than that.
I want to say when Sensei
Yeah.
came, we had the shoe
Yeah.
rack and Sensei removed his shoes, and I told him, Sensei, leave it there. He insisted to put it exactly in the
Yes.
shoe rack. So I told him, Sensei, so you're living that what you're preaching.
Yes, that's right.
Sensei.
Yeah.
Before Sensei got here, Sensei, I'm going to cut you a little bit. I was really shocked. I've had endless conversations with Sensei on the phone for hours and hours. And subhanAllah, it always happens during Ramadans. I don't
Yes,
know. And
yeah.
I think during Corona also we spoke quite a bit on the
spoke
phone.
quite a bit on
You know,
phone,
when,
yeah.
when I really want to talk about some things that
Yeah.
many people maybe don't know and are not interested in, I call Sensei Farid because he's
Mm-hmm.
so knowledgeable really about so many things. If you talk to him anything related to karate or martial arts, this guy is going to blow your mind. So Sensei, before before we started this, you were telling me that you trained in the same dojo with Sensei Andy Sherry and Frank Brennan. For those of you who don't know, these are legendary karate ekas who trained under Sensei Onoida.
Yes.
And when the World Championship was held in England, the JKA World Championship, their team was the first team to be the Japanese team ever. And I think my teacher, Sensei Kagawa, was among the people on this team. So, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, for third place for kata, Sensei Kagawa and Frank Brennan tied. And I think Sensei Kagawa won the tiebreaker, but they both came to do a second kata. So Sensei, you told me you actually trained in this dojo, and I heard a lot about, even from people in JKS England, how difficult and brutal those Sensei. So if you can tell us a little bit about the name of the dojo, the location, and some of how this training was.
Yeah, this particular dojo, the name of it is the Red Triangle Club.
Yes.
It's located in Everton Road in Liverpool. So the training is a traditional karate. And the training is hard because they follow the old system of training, both in kata and kumite, with a lot of basics. So they always do basics, kata, then kumite. So it's, they practice, this is where they develop the national team.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is where you get all these young champions, you know, they get formed there. So
Sensei, how long is the
selected.
training? Yani, one training, how long is
Yeah.
it? Is it 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours? Like, I don't know how.
It's a 2 hours training.
2 hours training.
2 hours
and Sensei
training.
start with a warm up and
Yes.
just traditional. Very, okay.
Yeah, it's a very traditional dojo that's starting with a warming up exercise.
And then Sensei, you do hundreds of zukis.
And then you have all these basics that they're endless. And when you finish the basics, you take a bit of rest, 2 or 3 minutes, you know, just to drink water, and you come back, and then you start practicing kata.
Sensei,
So
I
you
don't think
take
there's
one
kata
kata.
team and everybody doing everything, huh?
Everybody has to do what Sensei is saying.
So Sensei, they don't have something like kata player coming.
No. They train kata, one kata, many repetitions. Slowly, fast, break the kata, start again, slowly, fast, and until the kata really is the sensei is happy with their progress. You take another rest, and then you go to kumite. Kumite was like two would fight, but before that, you have a line. Like they split the participants into 4 groups. Each group has like 10. So they make a line. And then all the 10 will come in one after another to attack one person.
Oh my God.
When that round is finished, they change.
And,
So he comes also to be the defender, and the guy who was there, he become the attacker.
and Sensei, you
So,
cannot sleep, I think, for
no, you cannot.
1 second, huh?
No, because they start slowly. So they said, they don't name the technique. They said Jodan or Chudan. So Jodan, you can expect anything. And Chudan, you can expect anything.
Sensei, anything from a geri to a zuki.
For Marshigeri, for
Hai to
Kizami, for, yes, yeah. And then also, they put you not far from the wall, so you cannot go back too much.
Okay.
So you
have to defend your ground.
Yes, and they ask you, it's better even if you push that
Forward,
line back.
huh?
Yeah. So after a few rounds, then it becomes no need to say Jordan or Chudan.
You just go.
So you have to use your anticipation skills.
And they are starting.
And that is, they are starting.
Sensei, I think this is something
Yeah.
we need to emphasize, because I think the new generation, for me, I have maybe caught some training like this, but I know some of my students have not, because now we are so focused on competition, and unfortunately, I think a lot of the young generation, they will never experience. They never experience this. So that's why I'm asking about the details, because maybe I understand some of what you're saying, but I think the people who are 20 years younger than me, 25 years, they never trained like this.
No,
that's why, Sensei, I'm asking you for the details.
Yeah.
Sensei, so Sensei, now what is the gear you're wearing? Is there a glove, white glove, or not even that mouthpiece? No.
No gloves.
No gloves.
No, there was no gloves. There was no much of protection. It's just the karate gi, and you go.
You go.
So at that time, really, your anticipation skills go very high because you have to read the opponent. You have to read his eyes, his breathing, you know. And then once the speed start coming more speed, so they don't give you chance to focus on who is coming next. That time will become really a big test.
And Sensei, let's say you get hit once.
You get hit.
You gotta be ready again. You're not gonna stop.
You stay, yeah. And you hit back, but you stay.
You stay until your turn is finished.
Till your turn is finished, yeah. But the punches, they don't come full power and full speed.
Of course. But
so
still,
that they give you a chance to anticipate.
Yes.
But some of them, they do land lightly.
Yeah.
Either on face, either on body, and
Sensei, I mean, this explains if you watch Frank Brennan, the way he fights.
Yes, yeah.
It's almost like magic.
Yes.
I've seen him do things where he sweeps somebody, and before the guy lands, he's hitting him with the jaw. I mean,
Exactly.
I'm thinking you cannot even choreograph this. But if he's doing this every day, then it becomes an automatic response.
His kuzushi is amazing.
Unbelievable. The Kazushi.
Because Sensei Inoida was known for kuzushi.
Sensei, if you just explain
Yes.
the concept of Kazushi, I think people who are not familiar with Japanese martial arts.
Kuzushi is a leg sweep. So it's you know, it's one of the tactics to bring the opponent down, and to if you can do it the right time, you get a pawn.
Yes.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, Sensei, when we were talking about Frank Brennan, he's one of a kind, Sensei Brennan, and this explains if you do this kind of thing every day, it
becomes natural.
Yeah, Sensei, and I think all these people we mentioned, they're trained initially under Sensei Inoida, correct?
Yes.
Since you mentioned before, Sensei Kanazawa was there.
Yes, was there for short period.
Yes.
Then Sensei Inoida took part. I took my first dan with Sensei Inoida in 1982.
Yeah. Since he passed away in the 90s, correct?
Yes.
Yes, he had cancer, I think.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But the tiger, I think they call him Shotokan karate, right?
Tora.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since that's the word in Japanese for tiger, huh?
Yes.
I didn't know.
Then
that.
he had a
Tora.
dojo in Marshall Street.
Yes.
Marshall Street, yeah.
So you got your first dan there.
I got my first dan in Crystal Palace.
Okay, but under Inoida.
Yes. Because in summer they organize a summer camp. So you have one summer camp with the KUGB. You have another summer camp with at Crystal Palace. So these are coming in 2 different timings, and I was attending. I get a chance to attend both. For a number of years.
Since you were studying it in the UK?
No, just
for karate.
Just for karate.
Sensei, I guess you're as crazy as I am. Maybe more.
I think first time I spent like 3 months there.
Oh my God. Sensei, how did you finance this? If you
I
don't mind
I managed to save every penny
just to go train, huh?
Just to be able to train and join tournaments. In High Barnet, in Lancashire,
so competing also.
Different,
competing also.
Because when you June, July, August in UK is an opportunity.
Tournament season.
For tournament season and seminars.
Since now these tournaments were only Shotokan fighters, or other styles also came and fought.
Mainly Shotokan. Mainly Shotokan, because if you look at UK has a large number of Shotokan enthusiasts.
Actually, Sensei, a lot of everything, but a lot of Shotokan, yes.
A lot of Shotokan.
Because I think the influence of Sensei Kanazawa and Inoida and all these great people
very much
coming.
Yeah.
Ali, how is the time? We have how many minutes?
Break.
No? No, okay. Well, I think he needs to empty. Ali, you got everything until this moment? Is okay? You have everything? Okay. I think he will empty the camera and then we'll. You were telling me every summer you were spending in England trying to get as much information. I didn't know, but you did also competitions. So you took classes private classes, you told me. You took some private classes with the legendary instructors. You also competed, and you saved every penny you had. I just remember something in my personal life, Sensei. I remember when I came back, also in the States. Yani sometimes I used to save all the money I had and all the vacations. First day of Eid, when I was here, I would go travel to Kuwait to train with Sensei Farid. First day of Eid, I will go some camp in Phuket for boxing. Sensei, the word that comes to mind is sacrifice. I feel during my life, there are so many people who are actually much better than me. They could have been much better, and they're actually more gifted, but they're not willing to sacrifice. I feel like I always tell my students, you might not be the best, but it depends on how much you're willing to sacrifice. I feel, Sensei, nowadays, people are trying to, go for the easy certificate, not just in karate, in general. They want recognition without sacrifice. Sensei, can you just elaborate a little bit more on this point?
Yeah. When you have a passion and something you like, you will go through all the way to be able to do it. So going to UK for 3 months, I had to save, I have to sacrifice a number of things.
Sensei, how old were you at this time?
That time I was 82, I was 21 years.
Very young, Sensei.
Yes.
And by yourself?
And by myself.
And Sensei, this is in the 80s, it's not like...
No.
Sensei, I want to just say something here. People, maybe the young people listening to us, now you want to learn any kata, you can open YouTube, you will see 20,000 seminars. And back in the day, even when I started karate here in Oman, we had maybe one VHS tape. And Sensei, in your time, when you started, you want to learn kata, you have to travel actually.
You have to travel.
And Sensei, maybe you heard some names of some katas, but you never see them. Maybe.
We never saw them, yes.
Yes.
Traveling was that you have to take all the opportunity. Beside attending the seminars and competition, I used to attend even training at park in the night. Because I didn't have a job there. That means I sleep the whole day or big part of the day. So in the afternoon, I attend my classes. Then late night, when the parks are closed, we sneak in and we train until 3 a.m.
With the coaches, with the senseis?
With my sensei. One of the sensei.
Sensei, what you remember? Is there somebody particular, a name you remember, or?
I can't remember the name, but he was from a different association.
Okay.
Then we train. And he had a motorbike.
Okay. So he will take you, Sensei, and he will drop you back.
I spent a night in his house. Then the next morning, I go to my motel. So
since you finish at 3 o'clock, of course.
At 3 a.m. the motels, that time they are closed.
Yes.
So you cannot go.
Sensei, so basically you're trying to get as much information as possible, because it's not as easy as it is now.
It's not. Then also, you count your days. That each day you have to get something out of it.
Yes, because Sensei, then you will come back and... Sensei, did you have students at this time or no? Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. So, but just Sensei, you're building yourself at that time. Sensei, subhanallah, I don't know if this is a common experience. I just want to ask you. Sometimes when I was training with my senseis, when I went to Japan first time with Sensei Kagawa for 1 month, I've never been to Japan. I decided to go 1 month. I'm in Tokyo University, which is the toughest karate team in the world, next to Moto, Ryuji, Sensei Arimoto. And there are 70 people in the room. We're all training. And if you rank them from the best to the worst, I'm number 71. This is the truth, and I'm not shy to say. At some point, I'm asking myself, why am I doing this to myself? Am I crazy? I should be resting. And then when I went to Thailand, I started training. Actually, a lot of people who do this extreme thing, they told me, unless you start asking yourself this question, you're not going hard enough. Sensei, did you have moments and you're like, why am I doing even this to myself? This is too brutal. Did this cross your mind? You're like, I cannot be normal. This is not normal.
The time in UK that I got a punch that has missed its way and landed on my nose. And I was wearing glass at that time. So
oh my God.
I couldn't fit back the glass because my nose was...
Oh my God.
In the dojo, they rectified it.
They just set it straight?
They just set it for me straight. But for a couple of days, I had some pain.
Of course.
But again, I went back for
next
class.
day.
Yeah. So something you like, you will continue.
Sensei, what was the thought that moment when you get... Did you think, why am I doing... Man, am I crazy or as...
when you live in that kind of atmosphere, you know, your goal is really to improve yourself.
Sensei, so there's no going back.
There's no going back.
Okay.
Like in Jordan, for example. In Jordan, I was accepted in the second city called Az-Zarqa. That city had a club, and the head coach was from Palestine, Muhammad Abu Hussein. He said, you were the first Omani. Welcome. Then they were training Shitoryu. So it was 3 times a week. 2 times a week was only fighting. And once a week it was kata. And a bit of basics in between. So the fighting, okay, I thought, you know, it's a normal fighting, but it was like you kick and they block, you kick and they block, you kick and they block. So we used to have this area, you know, like yes.
Little balls, tennis balls, like
Very
golf
much.
balls. Huh?
Yes. Then the next day we go, you know, the third day we are in the dojo.
Again.
We don't feel how we climbed those steps. It was on the first floor. Sometimes I used to, you know, because my place was a bit far, then I take a bus. It would come around 25 to 30 minutes, bus. Then when I reached there, I looked at myself and said, I'm broken. You know,
why am I doing that?
I've got bruises everywhere. No, I'll go in. I don't remember, but I'm taking the steps, you know, the steps to go up, and I'm in the dojo. So, and that went for a number of years. Training and training and training until I got my blue belt.
In Shitoryu.
In Shitoryu. Then the day I was given the belt, the sensei called me in his office, and he said, when you came, we thought you will quit after a few months, but you have honored Oman.
Yes, yes.
You know, those words from a sensei like him, they stay planted in your mind, and they become your motivation.
Since you're the first Omani, you cannot stop.
Omani.
You know, yes.
I cannot stop.
Yes, yes.
And that was very, very tough. I didn't realize about that club until I was accepted, and I was invited for a cup of coffee with my colleagues. We beat each other. We train together. We beat each other. We all have bruises when we go to the changing room. But after that, we go to this small coffee shop, and we drink tea together.
Best friends, huh?
Best friends. And we discuss about, you know,
what you did to me and
what you did to me and what I did to you. So that feeling really,
it's camaraderie.
Yes. Yes. They show, you know, there is something, friendship, culture.
Something deep, Sensei. Some deep
bonding,
connection. Brotherhood.
Deep connection, brotherhood. And you feel like you cannot miss it.
Yes.
And you have to go back again. But before you reach that stage, you have to accept all the punishments. And there were a group of 15 students from the army, from one of the nearby country.
Okay.
They joined us.
Tough guys.
Yeah, but they all quit with time. 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, until there was no one. Down the road, 3 months, they all disappeared. So I said to myself, it cannot be. I'm just a normal person.
Yeah.
But, you know, once you like something, you really like it, you'll go for it.
Yeah.
There was a time I got to Mawashigeri. I didn't see it.
This is in Jordan, Sensei?
In Jordan. I got the Mawashigeri, and my mouth was full of blood.
Oh my God.
I went to
Sensei,
the
again, no
room.
mouthpiece. No, guys,
No,
next
no,
time,
no.
no
There's
foot
no
protection.
mouthpiece.
It was not invented,
There
the
is
foot protection.
nothing.
Nothing.
I went to the changing room. I just washed it all blood. Then I went back again. So, you know, and then after class, he said, yeah, I felt that it was a bit more in. I said, you didn't mean it. You know? So that kind of connection
And culture,
you know,
Sensei,
it stays for a long time.
For a
you know?
long time, absolutely.
And it gives you something that you will keep going.
Yes. And Sensei, I think if you really want to really understand the meaning of karate, it's very good, all the morals and values and the dojo code. But a part of instilling that is the hard training, right? The repetition. Again, the spirit, that's what builds, right?
That's the discipline.
Us.
The discipline of karate is to be able to resolve our difficulties in the dojo. If we're weak in Gyakuzuki, we keep training. If we're weak in Maigeri, we keep training. And this is how we learn how to resolve our issues in life. So we get a discipline from hard training, and that discipline we can stand by perseverance.
Yes.
If we can achieve that. We can achieve as well in our life, being a student or office. Yeah.
Like you said, Sensei, there were some really tough guys, but they couldn't continue, right?
Yes.
But you just showed up every day. Unless I'm, sick or, yes. No, but over the long run, you were there every day.
Yeah.
And Sensei, honestly, I think in life, a lot of times it's just you gotta be there every day. Eventually, you're gonna get there, right?
You be there, then it becomes your habit. Then you don't have to think. You have to beat the hump. If you keep falling back, you cannot go forward. You have to beat the hump. You have to go over it. You have to go over your fear. It's like when you fear the darkness, then sit in the dark room.
Yes, exactly.
Then you go slowly. Then you become part of the system. Then it becomes part of your life. So when you survive there, it gives you something mentally and physically.
I think, Sensei, it's like you're basically saying what Nietzsche said. That's who has a strong how. That's who has a strong why can endure anyhow. If you have a strong why, you love something so much, you're gonna endure whatever.
Yes.
Because Sensei, now when you're telling me this sounds like somebody must be crazy. You get kicked in the mouth, you're bleeding, you go, you're bruised, you go.
Come back.
Sensei, nowadays karate has changed. Somebody gets hurt in the dojo, the parents come, and unfortunately,
they can even make a case
against you, right?
Case against you. We bring our kid for sports. Other thing I wanted to mention is when I started working at PDO.
Sensei.
I was a project engineer.
Sensei.
So there was a project. Which was a standalone project. So we went to see the project because it was close by. So we went by walking.
Okay.
And on my right, there was a contractor engineer, a site engineer. And on my left, there was a British guy who was my senior.
Yes.
And I was in the middle. And you know the rules, you have to wear trousers and all, because safety rules.
Yeah, safety rules, yes.
And safety boots and all. So when we walk, there was those two bees, big bees.
Oh, okay.
They came from a tree nearby, and they were coming to us. And I remember that time I did put a certain cream that I got from my wife. That cream was smelling.
Okay.
So
okay.
I didn't know, but they were attracted by that from a bit from a long distance, like 30, 35 meters. And they were coming. It was zzz. So they passed in front of our heads, and all of us we panicked.
Of course, and see these things.
First time we panicked, and then the guy from my right, he ran away to the other side, and the guy from my left, he ran away from the other side, and I was left alone in the middle. As usual, the guy in the middle cannot go here and there because there's a person here. I stood in the middle. So they made a U-turn after we all tried to avoid them. And then they passed by and they made a U-turn. There was one in front of the other. And I had a small diary with me.
Okay.
And then I stood. I don't know really what happened, but I was looking at that big bee, coming. Then I use my diary to bring it down. Then I crush it with my foot.
Sensei, that's the line in England, maybe.
Yeah. The first one.
Okay.
And then the second one, I went down so that it doesn't come to me. And then I turn around, and it did make a U-turn. That was the third U-turn. First U-turn, second, third.
Yes, yes.
The third U-turn, it became only one. Huh? Then I didn't have the diary, and there was no time to go
and grab it
down and pick it up. Then I was standing, looking at it, and I didn't move. I came to know from my colleagues how they saw me. At that time, I didn't know myself.
Yes, yes, yes.
Clearly.
You're in the moment, Sensei.
I was,
yes, yes, yes.
In that moment, I don't know whether I was standing or I was focusing, but I was focusing. But how? It came to a certain point, and then it's kind of hesitating. So it came and stopped like 1.5 meters. Then it started to coming in with full force. That time I was looking, and my hand was ready. The moment it reached very close, with my palm, I took it down, the second one, down the ground. Then I crushed it. Then I looked to the right, and I looked to the left. I said, guys, let's go.
It's safe now.
Yeah. So they came to me, they said, you didn't move. How come? You stood and you didn't move. At that time, I remember the words of Master Gichin Funakoshi, the Mizu no Kokoro, that when you look at the surface of the water, and the water is stable, it reflects everything that you see. But when the water is disturbed,
yes.
the picture is not clear. So that state of mind, I couldn't reach without karate training.
Yes, see this Zen state, you saw everything, you're composed, the thing is coming in.
I could ever reach that stage without karate training. So karate training has given me that time to be able to see that big insect coming and not to panic, and to open my eyes and look at it carefully till it stopped, and I'm looking, and then it charges in, and I was able to bring it down. So that time I couldn't explain like I'm doing now, because it was not me. Yes. It was those circumstances.
Yes.
The two guys, they told me
what?
That we saw you didn't move at all. How? I said, I don't know. But let's go to the site. So we went to see our work.
Yes.
And they were talking about it on the, they said,
amazing.
Yeah, we left you alone. I said, it's okay. I mean, one run there, one run there. So they were talking like this,
So like, see, this is their reaction, This is the reaction of an untrained person versus.
Yeah, we should have remained with you. Yeah, but no. It is understandable. But that kind of focus to see clarity is coming from karate training.
Oh, Sensei.
So when you face your opponent with that state of mind, you can anticipate all his techniques.
Yes.
Deeply. You can anticipate. So the anticipation is very important. And that's coming from the training that I took.
Oh, Sensei.
And I encourage all the karate enthusiasts to train with this state of mind. I mean, you don't just go to the dojo and train. No, use your mind. When you use your mind and you use your body, you get the most.
Oh, Sensei.
Because you use two things. You get a mental focus and physical focus is very important for the progress, especially for the young generation.
Especially since now maybe with all these distractions, right?
Exactly.
I think at least that time, the kids really can't focus. I mean,
yes.
At your time, at my time, since we didn't have all these things, the gadgets, the laptops, the smartphones, now the kids do it.
No.
So as Sensei is mentioning here, it's very important for kids to have this state of focus, because Sensei, like at any job, you know, you're working in, you worked for so many years in one of the biggest company in Oman, petroleum company, and you need this focus in your job, with your family, in every aspect of your life, right?
Yes.
So, Sensiie, I know we can go just so much. We can have 10 maybe episodes just on your own training. But Sensiie, let's fast forward to Oman. When you started to teach, how did you teach? I want to Sensiie highlight one thing. I've trained with so many of your students, Sensiie Ahmed, Sensiie Khalid, Sensiie Ali, Sensiie Iqbal. Those are the ones I've trained with quite a bit. And they're really, Sensiie Ahmed, I spent a lot of time training under him. They're all very exceptional, you know. Sensiie, so what kind of training? Did you take the system from England and from Jordan and from all these places? Did you bring it back? It was a mix because of, Sensiie, just tell us a little bit more.
First, when I came to Oman in 1977, there was a club in Rui.
Okay.
Because there was only Rui and Waljar. Matra and Muscat. So I heard from Kuwait that there is a club from my brother.
So now, what belt were you at this time?
At that time, I was orange belt.
Orange belt, okay. Okay.
So when I came to Oman, I wanted to visit that club before even I put my bags in the house. But then I went, my brother-in-law, he was driving, so he took me to the club. And then I wanted to meet the teacher. And I came to know from the manager that the teacher has left Oman.
Okay.
He was from Lebanon. And he had to leave Oman because his father passed away. And he has only young brother and sisters, and they cannot be alone.
Oh, okay.
So I felt bad that I didn't see him, and I didn't get a chance to learn from him. But the manager said, all the members
are
here. They just started from 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And from your belt, you look
know
like
more than
you
them.
know more.
Yes.
I said, I'm not a teacher, but I can contribute to what I've learned from my sensei.
Oh.
And back to Kuwait, I was given chance to practice with all the levels.
Okay.
So that gave me, at that level, we could train in Basai, in Kanku, we could train with the Brown Belts Committee, because I was given chance from my first teacher from Cameroon. He gave me all these facilities to be able to attend. And it was like an open book, just practice. So I started to share what I learned. And that time, you know, we didn't have a dojo. We were training in the courtyard.
Okay.
It's open, it's summer, 45 degrees. Sometimes it's very humid.
So what about the floor? Was the floor concrete, cement?
The floor was actually a cemented floor, and they put mattress, mattress, you know, the sleeping mattress of maybe 1 inch or so, and then on top of that, they put the canvas material.
Yes.
So it was like not very stable, but it's good enough. For that time. We couldn't get much better than that.
Yes.
But it was an open space. Huh? Then that time I was much younger. I was more into committee. I was more into, you know, my patience also was very less because I wanted to, you know. Then the guys who came and the guys that I met there, one of them was Suleiman Shakhsi.
Oh, yes.
He was there with a group as white belts, and then I came to know him and, you know, Salim Kada. Then there were a lot of guys from nearby. So the training was like what I learn, I give.
Yes.
Then there were some guys who were coming to see, and they couldn't believe that karate has efficacy.
Oh, okay. They want to challenge. Oh, okay.
So there was this, you know, there was one guy with big belly wearing dishdasha. He came and sit for 5-10 minutes. Then he stood up in the middle of the class, and he came to me, and he said, "I want to join." I said, "Yes, you're welcome." He said, "But I want to challenge you first." at the end of the class, give me a chance to fight with you. If you win,
I join.
if you win, I join. I look at him, I said, yes. I could say no, but I say yes. Then when the class is over,
You're young at this time, Sensei. You're ready.
Then all the, the members, they all sit, and he stood up. Okay, so we're going to fight. So he was like, I don't know how, but I just spin and throw my ushirogeri.
Oh.
The ushirogeri land just on the
solar plexus.
Yeah, solar.
Oh.
So I thought, and I felt that
Your
it
heel
went a
went
bit deep,
instantly.
yeah. So I thought maybe he could, having difficulty in breathing. He went back and rolled back, and he fell down with the stash. No, he completely down, and he rolled back. I went to him first, to ask him whether he got hurt or not. Believe me, he stood up with his knees on the floor. He catch my hand with his two hands. He said, "I want to be your student." I said, I was thinking that he got hurt, but he stood up.
He was excited.
He was very excited, and he could, and the second class he was in. He was in, and he continued with us. And Instructor Ahmad Zakwan,
yes.
uncle, was also there.
MashaAllah.
And he's the reason for Ahmad and his brother to join Al-Ahli later.
MashaAllah.
He was the reason. So then that was the beginning. I stayed for 3 months. Then I had to go back to Kuwait. They told me, no, don't go and this and that. I knew Kuwait, the first month of September, most of the kids there, they don't go to school. Then I took 1 more month. But then I had to make...
Sensei, this time you were studying in Kuwait?
Yes. Then I had to go to, through Nahda Hospital, through someone, to get a letter that I was sick.
Oh, okay, just to stay to teach.
Just to stay to teach. Then I spent 1 more month, that's 4 months. Then I went back to Kuwait, I present that letter, and they accepted. But then I don't know what happened to the guy. I said, guys, continue what I gave you, I share with you, continue. Then after a few months, karate started in the internal security department with the Sensei Paul Evans. Yes. So first it was in Rui,
and then
and that's how Suleiman joined.
Sensei Paul.
Yeah. Yes. But back in Al-Ahli Club in '82 was also same scenario. We were training in a cemented floor. There were no tatami. In
Outdoor,
fact, no, indoor.
Indoor.
Yeah, but there's no tatami. And then we use, when there's a function, because the hall was multifunction.
Okay.
So when there is a function, we train outside at the volleyball court. Or we go by the little garden near where they are built now, the new sports complex. And the number started to increase quite a lot. And I came to know some of the members, they didn't tell their parents that they are doing karate. So they came by secret. Then they asked me to talk to their parents. That, Flan is training with us, and he didn't tell you, but he's okay, and please accept him so he can come and continue. And there's a lot of stories about...
Sensei, how do you compare the students at that time? I compare even 10 years I've been back. When I compare my first students, they were so much tougher than 10 years later. How do you compare, Sensei? If you have much more longer time to compare, maybe 40 years span,
Yeah. My training in '77 was different than in '82, because '77 was a dream.
Yes.
To me, it was a dream. That sometime I try to think, we didn't have a camera to take photo. There were no photo studios. So we were kind of, because I don't have anything that I can show in 1977. So it's like a dream. Yes. But in 1982, I had, those training in UK, and, I had to bring all that material And the training was very, very tough. 50 students reach in few weeks, but only 5 reach black belt. So you can imagine how many came and go.
Sensei, those 5, sorry to cut you. Do we know these 5?
Yes. That is Instructor Ali, Instructor Iqbal, Instructor Ahmad, Instructor Khalid. You know, they receive and accept all their punishment. I used to train with Khizran, you know.
Yes.
And when they do sit-ups, I beat them. Guys, more, you know.
Sensei Kagawa has the Shina. I mean, he had
exactly.
Now it's not allowed even in Japan. He used to just call and, you know.
So it's you know, it was very tough. Plus also, they stood, you know, they took all this hard training. Plus also, there was no enough number to do the competition, because the other clubs, there was only one club which was PDO, but they were mostly on their own. And then when Al-Ahli opened, there was from different society came. So we started our first competition in Oman in 1985.
MashaAllah.
In Al-Ahli club, outdoor. So we got the tatami, I don't know, from defense, from somewhere, and then we managed to
have the competition. Huh?
Yes.
Since who were the referees at this time?
I was
the
main referee, and others were judges. You have 2 from PDO, 1 from Salala, because Salala also started karate from the Electroman Company Club. And then also we have senior students also.
Yes, they were helping when they're not competing there.
Yeah, so they were like the brown belts were also helping. Yes. And my voice went.
Yeah, of course, Sensei.
The next day I couldn't speak.
Sensei, of course, you're main referee, you're running the thing, you're doing the draws, you're organizing the thing. Sensei, always it's, maybe people can think, oh, what Sensei Farid went to do this, I did this, Sensei Farid did the tournament, but you have to understand it's different when you're the first person.
Exactly.
It's when somebody does something already, it's been done. But when it's a completely different level of difficulty. Yes, we have to point this, we have to stress this point.
And my wife she was actually ringing the bell for the match to start.
Okay.
You know, it's like a big bell like this. We kept it on the table, and she was knocking it. Ding! So that ding was the kickoff. You know, and another ding was the Atoshi Baraku.
Oh, yes.
You know, and then the last ding was Yame. So now you have all these whistles and buzz, and you know, that time it was just a bell. I mean,
you had to do with what you had, right?
Yes.
So see, at that time it was all like JKA system, I think, right?
It was JK because we started.
JKA, I think, was dominating the world.
JKA, and then we moved to WUKO.
WUKO, yes, all the weekend.
Yes,
and then
we passed through all of these.
Yes. Sensei, now, I'm sure since you have plenty of stories, you have great students. Those ones you mentioned, they are really great, and each one of them is a great karateka. Yes,
they helped me to expand karate in Oman. Like Instructor Iqbal, he was brown belt. At that time, I gave him a duty to say, now you are in Sultan Qaboos University, why don't you start a karate team? We will come to support you. So then he started. And the brother of my grandfather was the first chairman of university.
MashaAllah.
Sheikh Amr Ali Amir.
MashaAllah. So you got support from them.
We got support, moral support, to start. Then Instructor Iqbal, he made a team. And we used to take our students from Al-Ahli Club to university, so we can give moral support.
Yes.
Hamoud was teaching in the college.
Yes.
College, the technical college.
Yes.
We used to take our students from Al-Ahli Club there, so that we can give some support to the new students there.
Students,
And then Instructor Khalid and Ali, they took one of the hotels.
Yes.
And slowly, at that time I was also teaching the Royal Police, because part of my job, I moved and worked for 6 years for
And
the
I think
Roman
this is
police.
how Sensei Ahmed.
Yes.
I see. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. And then slowly, I managed to bring Ahmed to the
To that position of
yes, yeah. So then we had the armed forces, we had the clubs, we had the hotel, we had university. So
Since you are like almost like Nakayama and the JKA, and because since they always said he was the best teacher, because if you see Nakayama students, really they are the best. Sensei Okazaki, Sensei Kanazawa, Sensei Osaka, they are absolutely the best. And Sensei, honestly, Yani, we have some good karatekas in Oman, but those students you mentioned, I think they're good.
Yes.
You know, they're really good. You know,
they sacrifice like I did. I was when I left UK, I was 3rd place in Qatar, and I lost a committee somewhere in quarterfinal. But then I wanted to go back and do. But once I started teaching in Al Ahli Club and helping others and supporting others,
the focus shifts, right?
And then the focus actually shifts from competition. And I was very young. I could compete, but then I focused on expanding karate.
Yes, because you have a family, you have a full-time job. I mean, how much?
Then I once we had clubs in other places. Then I had to answer the questions, I had to support, you know.
There are a lot of technical things to run something.
Yeah, so karate grew very well. And I really, you know, the good time, you know, the phones of my memory was that the instructors or the students that I taught, and they became instructors, and they helped me to expand karate in Oman. Those memories will never fade.
And since you know those guys, students have students who have
students and students. So we have like 4 generations.
You're like a great grandfather in karate.
It's something like that, you know.
Basically. That's really amazing, since you know. Really, and when you look back in your life, Sensei, right? It's really a huge achievement, you know, Sensei. Yani, you're coming to a place where there's almost, you said one club, they started 2 weeks ago, and the guy left, and you're an orange belt, but you know, and Sensei, I just want to say, maybe somebody is gonna come who has more students, but again, he's doing something that has been done. We have to remind people. Starting something at the beginning, it's extremely difficult, because once somebody has done it, you know it's possible. That already makes it easier. When somebody has done a tournament, you know it's possible. So I think credit should always be due to the people who do it first, which is you here, Sensei, clearly. Sensei, now looking back at all these years, reflecting, what are the main lessons maybe that you've learned from karate that you think new teachers, new students, not new, but even somebody like me, which is completely new compared to you, Sensei, of course. What are the main lessons? What are the main things that karate has changed in your life that you would like to share with us, maybe as an education, you know, for us?
Karate gave me quite a number of benefits, and I learned a lot from karate. First that I want to say is discipline. Everything without discipline cannot go.
Cannot go, absolutely. Anything worth it, yes.
Discipline, it means hard work, dedication. So when you dedicate yourself in karate, you will dedicate yourself in everything you do in your life.
So see, this is very important for the parents to listen to at this moment, right?
It teaches you a lot of discipline and perseverance. And the second thing also, it teaches you self-control. Without self-control, you cannot grow. The person can only grow through discipline and self-control. Those two items are very important, as not only in karate, you gain them from karate, and you use them in life, being a student or being working. You cannot say I can use them here, not here. They are the fundamental. Plus also the respect.
Yes. The attitude.
The respect comes from that you respect others, and you respect yourself also. This is very important. How others they see you. This is because if you respect yourself, you are sending positive waves.
Waves, absolutely.
And if you respect others, you attract.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So see, I would just want to add something. When I started to teach, I was young, And I remember I would bring, for example, Abdullah, Farah, and Abdurrahman, and all these, my friends, and I would fight every day in the dojo. And for me, at that time, I want to make everybody champions.
Yes, yeah.
But then after some time, I realized maybe out of all these students, one will have a dojo or two, but they all can be champions in life.
Exactly.
And I think this is what you're saying, Sensei, right?
Exactly.
Yani,
Yeah.
beyond the medals, beyond the trophies, beyond, there are much deeper things we can learn.
Yes.
I think this is what you're saying. What you mentioned, Sensei, is discipline,
Discipline.
self-control.
Hard work.
Yes.
Dedication.
Respect.
Self-control.
Us, Sensei.
Then you move on into respect.
Respect. Us.
Yeah.
For yourself and others.
And for yourself and others. Very important.
And Sensei, this is where the actual karate, the karate do versus the sport
Yes, yeah.
comes into play more, because
Yes,
we are more
yeah.
stressing these things in.
Yes.
Right.
Because karate is not only to train techniques. No, it's a way of life. And a way of life is combined into those items. You know, you can be a big champion, but if you don't respect others, you don't respect yourself, you've learned nothing from karate. So you have to, you have to have a balance of hard work and dedication, and balance of being a good human being.
Yes.
That is important. So human being is not something is difficult to achieve, because you have chance every day. Every day when we wake up in the morning, you said, how can I be better than yesterday?
It is not, Sensei, it is hard.
Yeah.
I disagree, Sensei. It's
It's
hard,
hard, yeah.
because this is your lifelong
Yeah.
project, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes. But you have to be conscious about it.
You have
right?
to be, yeah. And that's what
Beautiful.
comes the perseverance. It's very important. Kids, when they learn in the dojo, the first thing they learn is discipline. So they come to the dojo, they know where to put their stuff, they bow. When they see their sensei, they bow. When they see their peers, they bow. When they see their seniors, they bow.
And
When
the
they
break.
walk in,
Yes, out.
they bow.
Yes.
When they walk out, they bow. And they read at the end the
Dojo-kun.
dojo-kun. The dojo-kun is only reading, but with day by day,
You
it's stuck
repeat,
in their
repeat.
subconscious
Yes,
mind.
yes.
Then once they want to do, thinking of doing something which is not correct, it kicks in.
So it's like becomes in your subconscious, maybe, right?
Yeah, because it stays there, and it guides you slowly. Then it becomes your way of life, and that's why we add the number 6.
Preserve the land you're on.
Yeah, preserve your beautiful land. So don't spoil it. Don't throw trash. Keep it nice and tidy. Keep your school books, nice and tidy. And then you have more marks from the teacher. See, it's connected to our way of life. In everything we teach, because Sensei, coming from traditional karate, Sensei is an example of a master, and the kids are coming to learn the way of life from the master. So if we don't give them this,
If we don't live it, how can we?
yes, we cannot, they learn technique and then they go.
Yes. And it's dangerous, Sensei. You have
It's
technique without
dangerous.
morals. That's when you have problems, right?
Yeah. So they need to learn the moral side of it.
Yes.
And that's why I was, and I am still fascinated with the Japanese culture.
Oh, this makes
Yeah.
sense, yes.
And I had an opportunity to live with the late Sensei Okamoto in Cairo,
Oh, so Sensei.
in his apartment.
Oh, so Sensei Okamoto
For 2
is
weeks,
the
yeah.
person who brought karate, I think, to the Arabic world, to the Arab world, right? To Egypt. He was
to
in
the
Syria
Middle
first?
East and Africa.
So where was he
Yeah.
located before Egypt? I
He
think?
was in Syria.
Syria, that's
Yeah,
correct.
he was in Syria. Then he moved to Egypt, but his responsibility were Middle East and Africa, or the Arab world and Africa. So,
And Sensei, I think he married. He became Muslim and he married.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Sensei, I've heard of
Yeah.
him. Obviously, I didn't. I didn't meet
He
him.
was one of the graduates from the
JK instructor's course.
Instructor course. He was very traditional. his karate, always he emphasized on the basics, kata and kumite. Always. Always.
Sensei, how did you end up in his apartment for 2 weeks?
Because he came to Oman.
Ah, okay. You hosted
about 6 times. He came to Oman.
Okay.
And then he said to me once, he said, even you can't afford, I will come by myself. He said, I enjoy coming and see you and train with you. So then I was, sometimes
big words from a master like this.
Yes.
I mean, these things stick in your head.
And then he invited me to Cairo because I was attending Cairo every year, the summer camp, along with the students from the Arab countries, from Middle East, and as well as from Cyprus. They used to attend because they are closer. So I met a lot of instructors from Syria, from Lebanon, from Saudi Arabia, from Egypt itself, from Sudan. So we used to train like a summer camp on a yearly basis. And after the summer camp, one of the months, he invited me to Cairo, and he said, don't stay in the hotel, you will stay in my apartment. And that was my chance to talk about the Japanese Budo, because he finished his work. And then we cooked together the Japanese food. He had a chain of supermarkets. So we talk about Budo, we talk about karate, we talk about the JK instructor course. How hard the actually used to be.
Yes.
And he himself, even after that, he said it was very hard. Extremely hard.
Sensei, I know some people who, I mean, I think since the course started, if you count even the associations that broke from the JK, I think less than 150 graduates total, even including the JK, the JKS, and everybody who keeps the course. It's very few people.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that Tokyo University training was extremely difficult. And I know somebody who did Tokyo and then went to and he says, that's nothing compared to, I mean, I was always hoping I could at least attend, but they don't let you attend. Yeah.
I also asked him, I said, how did you manage to introduce and lift and progress karate in Egypt and Syria? And he told me he also passed through those challenges. So he had actually people came and stopped him on the road and challenging like 3 people. Came and they wanted to fight with him, But he responded very well. So he sent a message that karate is strong, despite his size was he was not that big person, but his focus was tremendous, and his best technique was Gyakuzuki.
Basic, huh?
Gyakuzuki was one of the most technique that he practiced.
So see, this is from the Kihon and the Kumite position? So inshallah, we will have a small practical session. After you can show me maybe. Yes, I can do it.
The 2 main things of Gyakuzuki is the speed and precision. So the training should be based on those 2. How to make it fast and how to make it diqqa.
Yes, it has to be precise at that moment, at that place.
Yes.
Oh, Sensei.
Yeah. I understand, because he was always saying to us, you have to finish the fight with 1 strike. And that strike was Gyakuzuki. So, and that goes to the history of,
Sensei, subhanAllah, I was just thinking recently about how Karate Kumite developed. Now they use a lot of Kizami Zukis, Moashi, and Ura Moashis. They do this a lot, but like now, since I'm also, now with the UFC and all these other things, you're interested to see, because I feel if all the old masters were living today, they would be adapting some sort of MMA into their, because that time was different. So I was thinking, out of all the karate techniques, which one is really very effective, and even after you hit, you are in a good position to attack again? I think it's Gyakuzuki. It is very effective.
It's very
you are
direct.
in a good position.
It's very direct.
Sensei, and there is no like you're also safe after it. All the other techniques that they play, like the Kizami or the way it's done. But and the Mohashi and Ura Mohashi, they come from the sides. but Gyaku is through the center line, and
It's coming from a solid ground.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So Sensei, if you make me pick, like there's for Taekwondo, for example, I think the turning back kick is the most devastating one in the World Taekwondo Federation, what they call the Tichigi. But when I think about karate, I think it's the Gyakuzuki. I was just thinking about this a few days ago, you know?
I think that actually is a very good point.
Yes.
And I thank you for that. My first sensei in Kuwait,
Yes.
he was challenged by a Taekwondo instructor.
Okay.
The guy came for business, and he stayed in the same hotel where our dojo was there.
Okay.
So by walking, he
found the dojo.
Oh, there's a dojo, and his gi was with him.
Okay.
So he, the next class, he was there. So at the end of the class, he asked our sensei that he wanted to challenge. Well, we were all seated, watch. His kicks were tremendous, very good. But what sensei did, he didn't give him a space.
Lock goes and
Yes, and he managed to do the leg sweep.
Okay. The guy is kicking and
Yeah.
Yes.
Then he brought him on the ground, and then he just put his hand,
Oh, control.
control. Yeah. So I was also challenging Rui with the Taekwondo guy from Abu Dhabi,
Okay.
and he was studying there, and he came and he joined, and then he asked also
Okay.
Yeah, I remember my sensei that when you fight with the Taekwondo guy,
You have to close it.
don't give him space, because if you give him space,
It's his area.
his kicks
Yes.
are
Devastating, yes.
Yes. So if you close him, you get him. That's what I did.
And Sensei, unfortunately, we miss, now in the new
Yeah.
rules of karate, like you
Yeah.
see the old matches
Yeah.
with Sensei Hara and Sensei Kagawa, they used to really have these
Yeah.
double hand throws and grabbing and all of this.
Yeah.
Now with the new rules, you
Yeah.
cannot do a lot of these.
Yeah.
So it's like judo, Sensei, You cannot do like a double leg takedown.
Mm-hmm.
Like the new rules of Taekwondo, I think sometimes when a sport, the martial arts become too much of a sport,
Yeah.
you lose some vital aspect of the martial arts.
Yeah, but Shotokan had all this.
Oh, absolutely.
When you see, for example, the Shotokai and Shotokan during those days,
Oh, yes.
they had all the
Throws
atemi,
and
they had all these
ashibarais and absolutely.
ashibarai and
Yes.
and osotogari,
Yes.
all were there. That's before the introduction of karate to Japan. When it was introduced, some of the items were removed
Oh, okay.
because it was adopted in schools first.
Schools, yes.
And then the element of a lethal element, we can
Yes,
call
yes.
it, they were removed, and and a few items
Yes.
were added to make it
More safe.
more safe. So when you look at the techniques of open hand,
Yes.
the unsu,
Haido.
these techniques are dangerous.
Yeah. But Sensei, I've seen, I think,
Yeah.
matches in the JKA where Sensei Kagawa was
Yeah.
high-toeing people, shoot-toeing people, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like,
With control.
of course,
Yeah.
because of
Yes. Yeah. So when you look at the MP, the agizuki is also dangerous
Yes, exactly.
when you apply it on the throat. Yeah.
Yes.
So many of these techniques, and more, even lethal than that, they were removed. So that karate
You can have a
be
competitive match that
accepted-
doesn't end up with
Yeah,
death.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
So it can be accepted by the Ministry of Education
yes.
more than 100 years ago.
Yes. And that's
So
how
then-
Sensei Funakoshi
Yes.
was able to spread it, I think, through
Yeah.
this, right, Sensei?
Yeah.
Yes,
Because he came from two masters who were originally, there was no match. And they fight with one technique.
One technique, yes.
And make your body as a rock. And really, when you see how their body worked, where that time is a bit different.
Yes.
And taking into account with the equipment they are using.
Yes,
and
I think
all.
you can open on YouTube some
Yeah.
Uechi Ryu and old Okinawan style,
Yeah.
and you can see their
So you can
bodies.
see.
It's just
Yeah, you can see also how their knuckles used to be and the oil that they use, to make the skin staying healthy, and the two bones are joining together. I discussed this point with Shihan Okamoto in Cairo, and he told me the Gyakuzuki with Makiwara is not only to develop your armpit and shoulder muscles and the rest of the arm, is to change it into something that when you knock, it's very hard for the other person to take it. Okay, then he told me the two bones with repetition, they become like one bone.
Like fusion, Sensei.
How? So first it has to be like injury. Then once it heals, it becomes
fused
together. Yes, yeah.
Sensei, this is
yeah.
karate.
Plus also there was a lot of things they use. Now you don't see this anymore.
Sensei, I think they start from Kung Fu and then it moved to karate, to Okinawa.
Yes.
A lot of conditioning, skin conditioning also.
And these all were in secrecy, Then once it reached to Okinawa, to Japan, it was not taught, it was modified.
Yes.
But still, some schools they continue the same, like the Goju-ryu.
Goju-ryu, yes.
They maintain the same the equipments,
Yes.
with
a lot of the Nahate styles.
They
continue.
They're hitting stones and breaking stones, which now JK they don't do it.
They don't. Yes. We don't. Yes.
Yeah. So that was an art of war. I believe it was not what you could see in the Olympics.
No, definitely.
No chance. Yeah.
Definitely.
So karate has changed.
Sensei, I think
we did get a chance to train on those actually, because you are much before us.
Before us,
yes,
right.
Much
and I think,
us,
Sensei, now people are becoming more aware of this as the internet is expanding. Many people are going to Okinawa to shoot.
Yes.
And you can see, Sensei, people always admiring martial artists like Thai boxers. Who condition their shins, but actually people in Okinawa were doing this way before, right? Like the shin conditioning, the elbows, these katas in Goju-ryu where the teacher is just slapping your body and...
Pressure point.
This is another thing, yes.
Pressure point has disappeared.
Disappeared from karate, yes.
And which is really something that...
Yes. And I think Sensei...
Any karateka should learn.
Should learn this, right? Yes.
I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sensei, I think if with time we don't try to really preserve it, maybe the thing we are talking about today, after 50 years, some people say, oh, we never trained this, we just heard of it, right? So Sensei, I think preservation of the art, the spirit of it is very important. Otherwise, the same thing is going to happen with, Sensei, like you were talking about these line drills in England. I've had some experiences like this, but for matter of fact, my students who are 20 years younger than me, they never, and maybe some people will just hear it now, and they will never experience this, and maybe in 50 years, they will not even hear about it, So it's good to have this as a record for that, yes.
And the good thing is karate taught us that it's not only the attack that can cause injury, but also the defense. Because in karate, the defense can change into the offense.
Yes.
For example, if someone is attacking you with a punch, and you can block on the wrist, you can also block on his elbow. So by blocking on his elbow, you can
damage, like serious damage.
Yes, you can cause injury, you can cause severe pain. Plus also there are areas here that if you press it, and that comes, in here and done.
Yes.
So not only that this technique
is an attack, but you're breaking the elbow.
But also this technique, you can use it while standing face to face. When there is an attack coming, you can use that technique. You don't have to use it in kata also. You can use it practically when you face your opponent. So by turning is one, but this technique can be blocking and can be also an attack to the weak point.
Weak point, yes. Sensei, like the elbow, the guy do the zuki and you can.
Yes. Yeah.
And Sensei, I think also in unsu, right? When
Yeah.
you go up and you go down, you're blocking and
Exactly.
penetrating through, right?
Yes. You can attack before the,
Yes.
below the,
Yes, the belt.
yeah.
Yes.
And that is a weak point.
Yes.
And that's why in modern karate, is not allowed
Allowed, yes.
to do maigiri there.
Yes.
But back in the street,
Yeah.
if you use the maigiri there, one technique, and the guy will go down.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are no rules in the street.
Yes.
You need to be safe.
You need to be safe. You need to finish the match as quickly as possible and go home. Yeah.
Sensei, you're wearing your dishdash and I'm wearing this. Before Sensei, we end this, I just really want to thank you so much. I enjoyed this thoroughly, and I think Sensei, we can have many more episodes,
Inshallah.
but maybe with more focused themes. We can focus just on your training in England, on your teaching in Oman. These days, Sensei, also you're an author of, I think maybe the first book anybody has produced in karate in Oman, right? That's correct,
yes.
if I'm not mistaken, right? So we
Yes,
could
yes.
also talk about that next time. There's so many, I think, we can go into 10 different directions. So Sensei, I really would like to thank you for coming. Really, Sensei, I know it's
Thank you so
Ramadan
much.
time,
Yes.
family gathering Yom al-Khamis on Thursday, and I really appreciate it. But I hope, Sensei, my hope from this, people see it all around the world, young generation can see how you trained. Maybe I've seen some of these trainings because I've been to Japan, but I think, like I said, many people, they might have not seen or never heard of this. So they, and Sensei, I think it's always good for us. When I was young, maybe when I watched you, Sensei, or even when I watched Sensei Kagawa, when I was younger, I said, okay, he's 60 something, he's training, so what? But now as I'm getting older, I realize, no, it is not, when you're 20, it's different than when you're 30. Just the life pressures, all the other responsibilities, and you continue, it is not easy. You have much more appreciation for those people who, preceded you. Karate is not just punching and kicking, it's about showing up in your life a certain way every day, right?
Yes,
Sensei,
that's
I
right.
really would like to thank you for
Thank
coming.
you so
Sensei, would
much.
you like to say anything? We're going to take a few minutes, Sensei. Maybe you can show me something about the Gyakuzuki. But Sensei, before, do you want to say something to end the
I
podcast?
want to thank you so much for
Thank you so much,
for the
Sensei.
invitation.
Thank you.
And I really enjoy
Thank you,
our
Sensei.
conversation. And I know, and I follow you.
Thank you so much, Sensei.
Through
Thank
your,
you.
your Instagram. I follow you through the competitions.
Thank you,
You are
Sensei.
doing a tremendous job.
I'm trying, Sensei.
And
I'm
you
trying
are-
to follow in your.
You are building champions and future champions.
Thank you,
and
Sensei.
current champions.
Thank you so much,
So,
Sensei.
so keep
Sensei.
going.
And since
Yeah.
you know, I think it's like a building. Maybe if I'm in the 10th floor, I could not have done it without the 9th floor preceding. I think this is what we should always view each other. We
That's
shouldn't
what,
look at each other as competitors. As a matter of fact, even your competitor, Muhammad Ali, was so good because he had George Foreman, you know? If George Foreman was not there, Muhammad Ali would not be, and Joe Frazier and these guys, you know? So even your competitor, let alone Sensei, you actually paved the way for us. If you didn't start that the time you started in the 70s or the 80s, I would have started from much more behind. You know, so
That's
I think
right,
we are all actually a part of the same story. And I hope, Sensei, this can bring us all close. You know, in karate, there's so many associations and divisions and federations. But I think, Sensei, at the end, we're all humans, right? We share so much more than we have. So thank you so much, Sensei, for coming. Sensei. Sensei, so now we're just going to do, you're going to show me the Gyakuzuki. I'll do it. Ali, you can close. Yes. Hello, everybody. So if you have ever been to my dojo, and have done training with me for all the great champions from all around the world, the people who come from Iran, everywhere. I'm so obsessed with the technique of the Gyakuzuki in my training because I feel it's such a fundamental technique for kata and komite. And actually, I was lucky today, Sensei Farid reconfirmed what I was believing in. So now, Sensei Farid is going to take us through some of the fundamental things. We couldn't change into our gis because Sensei came at 9:30 and it's midnight now. So it's going to take us another maybe 10, 20 minutes and I still have to do my lifting and Sensei has to go home. So Sensei, if you can walk us through the Gyakuzuki and just let me know what are the fundamental things we need to focus on. This is like an educational channel, so people, whatever Sensei you see is suitable, I will do it. Yes.
Yeah. So
Sensei, so you want me?
Yeah. So from Zen Kusudashi, Gedan Barai. Okay. First, we need to keep our hand completely there. And we need to relax the elbows, okay? So when we start punching, is not the hand is moving, is the kickoff of the hip first. So first we just kick off like starting
with the hip and then follow with the punch.
Oh, so Sensei.
So the hip will reach maximum there, and the punch will reach to there.
Same time, Sensei.
Same time. Like
Oh,
the hand, it doesn't move first. The hip does.
Actually, Sensei, I want to just add. I think, Sensei,
Yeah.
if we move the hand first, it will go like this, actually, right? Because
Yeah.
it's here. So exactly, like this
first-
has to start. Oh, Sensei.
Yeah, first kick of the hip and then follow the hand. Yeah. So now, if you stop the hand there, yeah. So when the punch has reached here, every action has a reaction.
Us.
Okay. That reaction, it goes together.
Us.
Same time.
Us.
So keep the hand.
Us, Sensei.
So here is important. Once we keep this strong and the heel on the floor completely,
Us, Sensei.
the reaction goes back and goes back there.
Oh.
So we amplify the power
Oh,
by
so-
keeping the back leg straight and the heel more planted on the floor.
Us. And Sensei, this is very important, especially if we hit something.
Yes.
Because if, I mean, in the air it
Yeah.
also looks good, right?
Exactly.
But when you hit something,
Yes, yeah. So it actually, it's an important point that your heel has to stay on the floor, your leg is straight, plus you tense the armpit muscles
Us here, Sensei.
and the shoulder. Yes.
Us.
Yeah, because this is all actually supporting this part here.
My lats.
Yeah, this has to be tensed. Yeah.
Sensei, I just want to add something. When we went to Japan to train, one of the things that really shocked me, because I was doing a lot of WKF stuff, they brought a mitt, punching mitt. And I tried to punch it, and I was very fast. I couldn't. Yani, my punch looks like boom, but on the mitt looks like this. You know, like no power. Yani, the punch just looks good. And I think recently we had a very good kata player, and I was trying to explain to him, and he's excellent. He's from Iran, and he's such a good kata player. But I brought a mitt, and I told him, punch this. He was going back. And I told him, again, Sensei, after punching so much, then you realize this whole chain is very important, because the reaction force.
The reaction force, see, every action has a reaction.
Oh, Sensei.
If we hit the ground,
Yes.
we make action,
Yes.
but there is a reaction.
Us.
So that reaction, if you keep your back leg bent,
Oh, yes.
there's
weakness here, Sensei.
So the reaction will dissipate here. It will not go there to come back.
So Sensei, straight, then anything.
There.
Pam. It's
So no chance to, So,
Sensei,
so
and
the
your
punch
whole
becomes
foot
strong.
is you try to
You
put it.
plant it on the floor.
Us.
You plant it on the floor. You tense.
Oh,
So
Sensei.
it's all straight,
Us.
complete straight. Yes. Yeah.
Sensei, yes, Sensei, since you are here, let me just clarify one point that a lot of discussion about. I know this is not Gyakuji, but Sensei, a lot of people think when you are in Gedambarai, this is bent like this. Sensei always tells me, no, it should always be straight. There is no, there's no per se bent. It's just Shomin and Hammi also is not like this,
It's not bent, but
naturally,
it is,
Sensei.
It is because the hip it can change your stance.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not bending it. The hip is changing.
Yeah, the
Sensei.
hip is changing the stance, but is not bending the leg.
Yes.
You know,
Because
so
Sensei, if I bend it, like now I'm getting in a different position.
Yeah, this is
Sochin.
like Fudodashi,
yes.
Soshin Dashi.
So Sensei, if I'm in Gojoshu,
Yes, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, so-
Because you need that, because you need the spring. The hip has to be kind of soft and hard.
Mobile.
If I'm using,
Yes.
You know, it has to be. It can
Yes.
move.
If this is locked, Sensei,
Yeah.
the hip will go up. But I want
Yeah.
to, yes. Sensei, so you're saying I should not think about bending the hip, bending the knee. I should.
Yes.
So thinking about the hip will automatically put this in the correct position. But if I'm
Exactly.
thinking about bending the knee, I'm changing the position now.
Then see now, bend, fine, okay?
Yes.
Okay, now just punch.
Now, Sensei, my heel.
See how it will go. You see how it will go?
Yes.
So because it's like you are changing from stance to stance.
Oh, Sensei.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sensei.
Yeah.
Yes, because now if I want to make hummy, then I'm already going back, but I want to punch forward.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's why, Sensei, I think something like Sochin, when you punch, you're pum pum. You're trying pum pum.
You vibrate. You vibrate.
Yes.
See, the hip has two movements.
Yes.
Bigger movement, and second one, like for example, if you do a take showdown.
Take your shoulder.
Yes. So a take showdown. Yeah. Say you land here. Okay. Before this move, you land here.
Yes.
You know, first here before you go into this.
Okay.
Say you put left. Yeah. So now you're here. Your hip cannot move much. So when you go to the next movement, you vibrate the hip. Yeah. So this vibration of the hip is different than moving the hip.
Yes.
Yeah. Like you stand in chokuzuki. Chokuzuki, you vibrate the hip. So you push the hip forward and you pull it back. So the force travels through your spine to the shoulder and to the punch itself.
Sensei, is it the same? I use this, I think, in Gojoshi show when I'm here. Sensei, when I'm here, I
vibrate. Yes.
Yeah. And Sensei, versus this, no, it's much stronger too. And you know, it's just a small movement in the hip. It's not like it's a small.
That's
the vibration. So Sensei, you're saying there is a rotation, but there's also a small pum when it's already there, but you just, I see. Oh, Sensei, that's much more than Gakizuki. Thank you so much. Yes.
So that the second one that you did, 1, 2, 3 again, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Sensei, Showman?
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So
each
sun. So now this technique.
Yes.
What is contributing more?
To this technique, Sensei?
Yeah.
You mean which hip
third
movement?
punch?
Which hip movement you mean? I think, Sensei, I cannot do much of a rotation because I'm already closed.
Yes.
So I'm doing
So you do the vibration.
Yes.
You also do the hikite.
Yes.
The hikite is
the key
very
here.
important. Yes.
So
Yeah. So the hikite gives more power to the punch itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sensei, I think Sensei Kagawa always say we are actually more inclined for pulling. Even as a kid, when we start, we pull. So our posterior chain is stronger.
Of course.
But we're always thinking of karate. The back leg is more important. The backhand is more important.
And kids in class, they need to get
because Sensei, everybody's doing this and this, but everybody's forgetting about that.
They forget the hikite.
Yes, and Sensei, it's actually hikite. We can go into this forever. If you look at boxing, Muay Thai, they don't have hikite.
No.
Why we have hikite? And Taekwondo and traditional is grabbing somebody and amplifying. You know, this is the grab. Maybe this is the break, and this is this is a whole different topic, Sensei, right? The hikite. Sensei, thank you so much. I mean, wealth of knowledge. And Sensei, not only sometimes new things, and sometimes even when you talk to somebody, it reinforces the idea, or you can see it actually in a different way, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Sensei, thank you so much, Sensei.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sensei.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.